replacing the impeller on a Suzuki DF15. Get it mounted on a stand, and first thing to do is undo this. Don't touch the bottom one, you need it to realign it back up. Next step is to undo these and drop the bottom off. Next, pull it out. It'll come out with the shaft. Water pumps inside there. That looks good. So next you want to take off them 4 bolts, and the cover will slide up and the impeller's inside there. Right, so here's the last nut on the impeller housing. It should pop off. This impeller is only a year old. It's only done about 5 hours use, but yeah, you can't risk it. Best to change it, like. Very important not to lose that. It's important to change because the rubber deteriorates. See, look how badly misshapen that is now. And that's not going to pump water really well. So, nice and springy. Just make sure there's no crap on the plate. Make sure it's all nice and clean, no wear. This was put on last year. Like I said, it's only done 5 hours use, so I'm not going to change these. My gaskets are fine. There's no need to change them. They come off pretty well. So I use lithium grease. It's very waterproof. Other people use other stuff. I use lithium. Right, once you've greased everything up, just makes it easier next time you go to take it apart. The impeller's got a keyway in it, and it lines up with that keyway. Little trick, pop the impeller on the shaft and line the keyway up, just to make sure the keyway doesn't slip out. Otherwise, you won't turn on the shaft and you get a very poor. So that's lined up there now. Yeah, and the keyway has stayed in. If that slips out and drops down there, when you start up, this won't turn with the shaft. So it's always best to pop that on there, not put it in there and like slide it down and hope it stays on, because it could pop out and you won't get any cooling into your engine. So that is, it's so greasy now I can't pull it back up. But yeah, that's definitely on there, see? Yep. Right, next step is putting the housing on. Just push it on. And then put the bolts back on. And that's pretty much it then. Once the housing's back on, you tighten down all the bolts. This is really a 2-hand job, but I'll try and do it with one. I'm just going to pop the shaft back in and line the splines up with the engine, and hopefully it lines back up. There we go. Dowels back in, pins back in. Put a bolt back in there now, and line that back up and we're done. Right, bolts are all back in. If you remember, we didn't touch the bottom nut, so all we got to do now is line that back up and tighten it up. It's important not to touch the bottom one because this is what lines your gears up. If you alter this, then it won't select gear properly. So that's the gear shaft. Once you nip this up then against them, that's it, finished.